Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. Well, hello everyone. Yep. So this is one of those introspective videos where I paint a visual representation of what I've been thinking about. Oh really, Lydia? And what might that be? Well, I'm glad you asked. I've been thinking about mental prisons. You know, the prisons we mentally create with a constant commentary of unhealthy, negative self-talk. Well, I recently had a conversation with a former version of myself, a far more self-deprecating version of myself, and this former self is one that I am happy to be rid of most of the time. Sometimes she stops by for a visit and I'm forced to stuff her in a closet and stick a sock in her mouth because she can be pretty mouthy. And she also has no filter, which is kind of annoying. Alright, so I admit it's not so much a former version of myself, but more of the shadow side of myself. And hey, don't judge, you've got one too. Don't deny it, just own it. This shadow side is what I like to call the jailer, and this jailer is nasty. Talk about berating the prisoner. The endless criticism, harsh judgments, casting doubt on future success. It's like being in a mentally abusive relationship, but with yourself. All the more reason to end that one. I'm sure you've heard of self-empowerment. But this is the complete opposite of that. This is more like self-imprisonment. This inner jailer creates a toxic fear factory, complete with a terrifying room of mirrors. Yeah, here's looking at you, kid. All the jailer wants is to keep you there, trapped in this cell of your own making. You want limiting beliefs with a side of self-doubt? Sure. In fact, I'd like another serving, please. I'm hungry for self-deprecation today. Excellent. Here you go. This kind of relationship with the jailer is a dangerous one. Ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome? Yeah. Well, you don't actually want to develop a bond with this captor and allow them to take complete control of your mind. All that will do is squash your potential for greatness, right? And your definition of greatness is an individual thing. It's based on your hopes, your dreams, and aspirations. Maybe you want to start your own business or become a professional artist. When you think of those dreams, they make you smile, right? Yeah, of course they do. Until that annoying jailer starts talking, saying things like, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're too old, you'll never make money as an artist. These are limiting beliefs and they will extinguish the flame of potential within you faster than Eminem can rap in his single Godzilla. And that's saying something because 7.5 words per second is ridiculously fast. I can't do that. I can't even say toy boat 5 times fast. It always ends up being toe boit. But I tend to fumble over words pretty frequently. Personally, I think it's because my mouth can't keep up with my brain. Oh yeah, my brain is that fast. Now let me tell you, see how I turned that around to be a positive thing? Yep, I've learned. The point is, you are your own worst enemy, and in most cases, you're the only thing holding you back. So now we get to the positive. If you are, in fact, your own jailer, that means you also have the key to your cell. Imagine that. You can choose freedom from your jailer without digging a hole through the wall behind that Raquel Welch poster and crawling through sewer pipes to escape, Andy Dufresne style. Yeah, I totally just used a Shawshank Redemption reference. But, you see, the jailer is a construct. It's your inner boogeyman. It will try to make you believe that it's being realistic and that it has your best interests at heart. I'm protecting you from making a mistake and failing. You don't want to fail, do you? You're afraid of failure. So you should keep that dead-end job. After all, it pays your bills. I know you're miserable there, but the important thing is security, not happiness or fulfillment. Stress is a normal way of life. Just accept it. This negative voice in your head is limitless in its ability to trick you into believing that you are less than what you actually are. So after years of having this negative, anxiety-inducing jerk whisper not-so-sweet nothings in my ear, I had to find my own way of dealing with her. So I started asking a one-word question every time there was a negative statement my jailer had for me. When she said, "You can't start a YouTube channel," I asked, "Why?" When she said, "You don't know how to start one," I asked, "Why?" When she said, "Because you haven't researched it," I said, "Well, then I should start there then." It was as simple as that. I started an inner dialogue with my shadow side. Basically, I started talking to myself. I know that sounds crazy, but I did become the small, annoying child that asks why every time an adult says, "You can't do that." This inner dialogue was the key to unlocking the cell door of my mental prison. It was ultimately what helped me to act and set goals and learn how to meet them. It turned my failures into lessons learned. It helped me to understand what I was afraid of and why. I ended up getting to know myself better, which resulted in me bettering myself in the process. I procrastinated less, I became more confident, and truly started to believe that anything was possible. The problem with negative self-talk is that after a while you start to believe it without question. The key is in questioning it. Ask yourself why, and if the answer is, because that's how I feel, then ask why again, and keep on asking why until you get a real reason. Because let's face it, if our lives really are what our thoughts make them, then our thoughts need to be better. Everything starts with a thought, and thoughts can either lead to action or inaction. They can be a help or a hindrance. You can either live inside the cell of a self-constructed mental prison, or you can realize that you are in fact the judge. It's ultimately up to you whether you are sentenced or go free. Which brings me to my next point. You are the judge, so don't let others be the judge for you. And what I mean by that is don't let the opinion of others be the determining factor in whether or not you pursue your dreams or your goals. It's not up to them to tell you how to live your life or achieve your goals. There's a big difference between supportive individuals who say things like, "That will be hard work, but I believe in you," and the naysayers that scoff at your goals and try to convince you that you'll never make it. These naysayers will feed into your shadow side and give it more power, which in turn will lower your self-confidence and increase your self-doubt. The fact of the matter is, you can't control what people say to you or about you, but you can control how you react to it and whether you actually believe what they say. I find this to be really important because negative feedback is pretty normal. There's no such thing as universal popularity. Not everyone is going to like what you do or who you are. And that's something that you have to deal with. And you have to deal with it in a way that is not going to hurt you mentally. I'll give you an example that I had experienced in my own comment section on YouTube, where I had someone say to me, "I think you're a really talented artist, but I can't stand your personality." Well, that's nice, isn't it? I call that the kiss and the slap, where they give you a compliment and then they try to bring you down. Well, you know what? It didn't really hurt my feelings or anything, but I did find it to be kind of insightful, and it made me feel pretty good about myself, because it was really more of a reflection on who they are than it was about me. Because ultimately, that's not something that I would ever do to another person, to make them feel badly about themselves or make them feel inadequate in any way. I did, however, respond to the comment by saying, "Thank you so much for leaving a comment. I'm sorry that my personality isn't for you. It's not for everyone." And that was kind of how I left it. I didn't respond in a nasty way. I didn't say anything against them. You know, it's not worth it. It really isn't. I just go about my business. I create art. I try to empower other people. I want other people to succeed. And that's kind of how I would like to live my life. Anyway, let me know what you think of the painting. This painting was done with golden open acrylics, and it is a completely acrylic painting. So with that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!